Welcome everyone to the Circle of Resilience. And today I will be talking to Livia. But as always, we first start by grounding in. So you can take your seat, close your eyes if you feel like closing them. And then we can start to rub our hands warm. You can move a little, just like Livia does. Do whatever you need right now. By rubbing our hands, we create the energy we need. And we can use the energy to put on our bodies, maybe our face, our shoulders. Feel whatever place or part of your body needs it right now. With every touch, with every movement or the intention of putting your hands there gives you some love, makes you feel safe. It's kind of an invitation to come back to your body right now. So do whatever feels good today. And when you've become a little bit more present in your body, you can put maybe one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly, your womb space, just to connect you to your center. And we will take 3 deep breaths. So on your inhale, let everything that is pulling you into anything that just happened, whether it's today or maybe from yesterday or from way before, let the energies of that come up into your breath. And then on your exhale, you can slowly sigh them out, let them go. On our next inhale, we invite in everything that is pulling us into the future, anything on our to-do list, any shoulds or could haves, should do, must do, or any other energy that is taking you into the future. And on our exhales, we let that go as well. As always, if you need another breath, take your time. And then we use our third breath together to fully welcome ourselves into the now. Invite in this moment. You can smell it. How does this moment smell? And by exhaling, maybe you sink a little bit deeper into your seat. Feel grounded by the chair or the place that you're sitting in. Feel your feet. If you feel like it, you can imagine roots coming out of your feet and your tailbone. Roots that go all the way into the earth to connect you to Mama Gaia or Mother Earth. And feel that you are held by her. And you can also feel maybe the connection from the top of your head to everything that's above us, whether you call it spirit, God, the universe, whatever you feel like connecting to, maybe the stars and the moon and the sun, the part that knows we are part of a bigger picture, a bigger whole. Come back to your body with your attention and feel that you are in between these two, the earth and the universe. We are here right now to show up as we are. Maybe you feel the energies of both below and above come into your center in your belly or maybe in your heart. They combine and connect. Once you feel present, you can slowly start wiggling or moving again before we open our eyes. If you have a candle with you, you can take it and we will light it together. So we will light this one for ourselves, for Livia and me, for anyone who's watching at home. Maybe not at home, maybe somewhere else. Anyone who's watching and joining us. And anyone who is connected in one way or another with us. And today I would like to invite the elements as well. So fire, of course, it's already in there. Water, earth, and air. To know that all these elements are part of us, part of the world we live in, and that they all hold a sacred energy that we can use, yeah, to guide us. Yeah. So, Livia, is there anything or anyone that you want to add to our candle that you want to take with us today?
I invite in our space Teyata, the great blue medicine Buddha, the healer, the one that through its limitless compassion takes away all the suffering on the lower realms, and especially like inviting them to give this blessing for all of us and all the beings on this earth.
Mm,
That's who I want to invite.
thanks. We'll have it all in our candles and take it with us. Yes, and now that we've grounded in, I want to introduce everyone to Livia. I'm not even sure if I pronounce your last name correct. Grintescu?
It's like Grintescu, but it's a Slavic hard thing.
Yeah, it's beautiful though. It suits you.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I'm I'm always grateful with the women I get to talk to. But you were high on my wish list because we've been traveling together in a women's circle. And yeah, I really always um, felt a great connection with you. I'm inspired by you every time you talk. I really feel, yeah, that even though we don't see each other often, well, now a little bit more often because of this talk, but yeah, we've been apart for a few years, but I always feel that you're someone I'm traveling with, even though we're not seeing or talking to each other. And
I feel the same, Marcella. I was so excited that you are thinking of me with this, and yeah, I just got goosebumps and bubbles of join us just connecting with you. And it's been such an inspiration. Your light spirit and your light worker coming through all your pores, the love you carry.
Thank
So
you.
feminine way. It's beautiful. Connect.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I know you are back in Denmark. You've been traveling
Yeah.
the world for a little bit. You have roots somewhere else, and yeah, we will talk about resilience, of course, today. Um, but I think I first want to dive a little bit deeper into the experience that you had the last couple of years, maybe. And I know that might sound like a big question. I'm someone who asks likes to ask big questions. Um, yeah, but kind of to get to know you in the way that you've been
Yeah.
creating your life the last couple of
Yeah. Well, I guess it can be seen also through the lens of resilience, because it's very interesting when you look back and you see this crazy moments of, I don't know, die or reborn, that we take in, and ways and that open up from there and change your life, like the decisions and doors you open. So yeah, about 10 years ago, one of the big changes was that I came to Denmark to study environmental anthropology. Yet to find out that my heart yearns to become like a body therapist and a healer. Little did I know, I was of course very attracted since small about magic and folklore and cosmology and all of these juicy things. But I didn't know that something that's called for me to bring forward to the world. And it actually took quite a dark night of the soul in my life to discover it, or like to dig in the soil and find these nuggets of gold. Uh, Back then, just after finishing my studies and coming here, I went through a divorce. And soon after, I went into a psychosis because there was just so many layers to clean, of layers of cultures, of tradition, of coming from a country where it was shameful to not have a successful marriage. It's shameful to like be an independent woman and a strong woman to try for yourself, all of these things. Uh, and I learned so much from those moments of intense fear where I was doubting everything in my world. Like, who am I? All these layers of pleasing, of being such a good girl, a girl that's nothing without a good man by her side, all these things you learn and the culture you come into. And it was tough. It was really tough for about a year or so. And then actually, a friend of mine said, "Hey, I'm doing this new thing. I'm learning craniosacral, and I need someone to practice on. Would you like to try?" I said, "Yeah, I'm really open for it." And I had a session, and I remember all of that fear went away. So in that moment, I could actually go beyond all the stories and have a deep relaxation that was the start of a healing and letting go of all this past. And that moment and that session kind of turned my life around, because I knew there and then that this is what I want to learn and this is what I want to keep forward, because it was just such a beautiful place to experience. Um, yeah, it was beyond words in that moment. And it was really a wave of safety and love. Um, yeah. And from there, my road began very much in this direction. I put so much money aside and did do one course after another and just going forward in it and just studying and, just actually stepping into becoming a craniosacral therapist myself. And a lot of other things opened as I allowed myself to be myself and love all these things and let go of all that constriction and all these ideas of who am I supposed to be in my place in society. I have nothing but thanks to give coming to Scandinavia because the women here are fierce and they love their freedom and their self expression, and it's just been amazing to learn that from them and to get that thing. Yeah. And the last part now, for the last couple of years, maybe like the last 3 years, I feel like my lost love, shamanism, that somehow was always there in the background, it's coming more and more knocking on my door. This deep connection with nature. That's, yeah, it's so humbling for me. My teacher at the moment a lot. And yeah, I'm gonna talk about a bit more about this also, regarding resilience, because I feel like there's some key elements in nature that we can take on with us to feel this force that we already have and is bathing us in our surroundings. Yeah, and now I just moved in a farm. I finally have my own home, the countryside of Denmark with a small patch of forest that I can tend to and a garden I can tend to, and yeah, that's beautiful. Things are still amazing and opening and creating new possibilities, and in the future working to make a healing center here for people from all over the world. So that's, we're planting right now the seeds for that. So I'm bubbling with joy and excitement for this
Yeah,
coming.
I can imagine. Hmm.
Hmm.
I love how it's like this image of you traveling a road of, where you can find your darkness. And I love how you said, um, digging into the soil, the deep dark soil, mud, maybe even to find these nuggets of gold, to find these
Yeah,
things that are making the trail of where you want to go, and where you, yeah, but that has led to where you are right now, and that will lead you further, of course. But yeah, I can see this image of you kind of moving through life, and I know it's not always easy. So it sounds like a nice travel, but of course you find all different kinds of things on your path. Um, and to me, you are really someone who um, holds nature's wisdom. Maybe it's not holding, but um, yeah, knowing that it's there, trusting it, and going to it, asking it, and then yeah, um, it helps you on this path, I imagine.
a
Yeah,
lot. Yes.
yeah. There are so many questions right now, um, but I'm I'm curious at too many things. But can you tell us a little bit more about how?
I know that state of mind.
Yeah, can you
What
tell
would you like to hear?
a little bit more about how nature has helped you, or the learning more about the shamanism, about the cranial sacral. I can imagine that
Yes,
that's also about nature and listening to it, but then our bodies instead
yes,
of the
very
earth.
much. The thing is with craniosacral is that in order for it to work, you have to access this state of mind where you're really utterly present in a relaxed, not tense, vigilant way present. More like this life is kind of seeping through you. And for me, like the beautiful places where this is connecting with nature is that through it and through accessing deeper relaxation state of minds, because as you go into this work, there are moments where you're shifting your awareness and your sense of consciousness, so it can become, everything becomes more and more still until like this. pristine stillness can permeate, but it's a live stillness, and it's the kind of a live stillness that sits. Sometimes I feel like very poetical. It is like big waves of creation. Like if you think of worlds being born, and like winds being moved, and there's something in it that has the potential for these cycles of life. Uh, and inside of our beings, we have the cycles of life also. So I'm not sure if all our listeners know what craniosacral is. That's why I want to maybe put some more words in. But it's working with the nervous system. So working with a concept, or actually with the truth that there is wholeness in us, and we always have the potential to heal and restore, because already when we are in the womb of the mother, like from those two cells that meet, like we know there is a matrix of life that just grows and develops and heals and regenerates. Like our cells know how to regenerate. And when you tap in the slower waves, you kind of learn that, hey, actually, we have a heartbeat, we have a rhythm that is given by our breath. We have a rhythm that's just in our organ system, like the whole digestion that is moving. But actually, we also have a rhythm that's generated by this very special sacred place that is deep inside of our brains, that the mystics were talking so much about it. It's right about where our pineal gland is. Uh, it's the Turkish saddle in anatomy. But there is a very magical place where, because of some sort of friction that nobody can explain, some sort of pulsation that comes out of nowhere, uh, there is a fluid that's being created. And this fluid runs through our spines. It's basically what's protecting our cranium and what's padding also our whole spine. And that's quite special. I mean, our spine, mystical tradition is like the Shushumna, is like where God sits, where our whole connection, like where our connection from the heart of the creation, the cosmos that connects us to Mother Earth. And that translates into the physical world because, hey, we have bodies. So we're navigating this world through our bodies. So we are physical. So this feel like the nervous system is where this energy actually starts to manifest. And of course, this is a bit mental maybe because they all are overlapping and working in the same time, but it's still we live in this world where we're solid even though we're not. So yeah, connecting the bigger nature like the cosmos into our body and seeing the cycles of life. And when you are reaching some really deep states of presence, you can actually see and feel. It's like a whole body feeling where you can see this rhythm is actually being breathed from outside, breathed into you, and actually it's not even having to do anything with the biology of all of it. And it's quite incredible. And these moments are rare, of course. It's not every session that can hold such things, such precious download. But when it does, like you can really see traumas being washed away, or like something very big being healed or regenerated, because we know, and like this is in every living being and living thing. Because yeah, we have the realms of the humans. We are so intricate, but we're not the only very intricate, incredible beings around. Like there is this whole other layer. We have all this incredible plants and animals, and then we have the realm of the trees, but then you also have all the microbiology. Like we're made out of so many little things. So that's where nature meets body in my world somehow.
Oh, I love this. It starts to, it's almost like an activation as you're talking about it. Just, something I wanna talk about is that I always pick a card, like an oracle card or an inspirational
Mm.
card for the year to come.
Mm.
And this year, my card was a goddess named Shakti. I don't know if everyone knows about her and is into all the different goddesses, but Shakti is also about this um, snake-like, if I put it correctly, um, energy. It's all about energy and how it travels up and down our spine and connecting us to, space, the universe, and the cosmos, and also the Earth. So it really, as you're talking about it, I can feel my year card go.
Oh,
Woohoo! Yeah, this is what we're doing. This is what we're
yes,
talking
I
about.
love that.
Yeah, yeah. So well, that was what I wanted to add, but um, I'm wondering what it was like for you, and I don't know the correct order of your life history, but what it was like for you to um, encounter this cranial sacral work while, peeling off your own layers of, as you said, of your culture, of your beliefs, of all these things that we learn through our lives, and what it was like for you to enter into this new realm, and how you, yeah, what did you do from there? Just getting to know it, and then,
Yeah, I think like it all kind of moved like in very fast, big steps somehow. I just couldn't stop not getting that. Like I was so thirsty for this, like for this energy, for this kind of work. And I started to put my nose in a lot of books, and I stumbled upon Body Intelligence. I don't remember right now the author, but I was reading it and I was getting downloads. I remember just like that whole period. It was so electric. I felt it in my hands and I was feeling in my body all these waves, all these currents of energy and the cycles of life. And yeah, and just meeting beings in my sleep that were teaching me about it. So it was quite yeah, an unstoppable force somehow. And on the other hand, just being also human and going through all these emotional waves and yeah, a lot of shame and guilt that had to come to surface to cleanse. And I think it's yeah, it went really well. And on the other hand, part of the healing process was I met this where the shamanism kind of meets. Um, I was brought to a place where a very beautiful friend now was doing healing with kambo. That's a frog that comes from the Amazonas, and people collect its slime that has very potent purifying properties, and they would make small incisions on the skin, like with a stick you'd burn it and you'd put that thing on, and it's not so nice or pleasant, but you have a purge. You'd actually uh, vomit all this stuff out, and it was just very powerful because I could really see thought forms that were leaving my body. It was quite an intense thing, and I think that kind of opened more and more the door of just listening to nature more and working with certain plants. Yeah, and at times in healing sessions, they also come up. Like there are some persons that suddenly, like I see a special flower or plant that they're connected with, or like the spirits of some plants that are coming in to support certain type of work. So I think it's a kind of interwoven journey ahead. I feel I'm just scratching the surface with this
yeah,
work.
yeah, I can imagine that it's so much richer and deeper than we get to talk in about an hour. Um, yeah, but it really sounds intense, an intense kind of experience for you.
Yeah, it was quite intense, but it was also really good. I feel like was just surrendering of what's not yourself, and I think we're all on a daily basis somehow have to meet that. Because we always meet or like rub against the expectations of society and all of this. But there are some crucial moments in our lives where we go through crisis, and that's that's really like where a lot of transformation happens. Also, like with this, with resilience, so much of our struggle is trying to control the world, even our image of nature. We think like that nature is very harmonious or it's something very linear, trustworthy. But nature is wild. It does huge changes and it's so unpredictable and you never know. That's also like Shakti energy, like this fire, this wow, it's like constantly creating. You, it's not stable one bit. It's the cosmic mother. Yet we so desperately want to cling to a certain way of how a life looks, or how, yeah, I don't know, the world should be, or what economy should look like. And this very aggressive type of, wanting to fix everything. And it's a way of dealing with uncertainty, or like not dealing, actually, not dealing with uncertainty. And I think the more we allow to feel this truth of everything is unstable and we don't know, and it's all right, uncertainty is part of the matrix, like it's part of the whole trust that's required, and not pushing all this uncomfortable stuff away that we so much tend to, because of course it's not nice to feel it all. It's also like it's quite hard to navigate day to day when you're without armor. So that also plays a part. But like really calming, when you catch yourself that you're trying to control or like feeling unsafe, it's really coming back to that place of allowing everything to be as it is.
Mm.
Like really resting in that trust of, yeah, it's beyond us also. And we are cradled at the heart of creation, even though, we're so mature and strong or whatever. We're really like, leaning into a bigger network of relationships with an even bigger network of relationships and cycles and yeah, whatnot. But still, our everyday matters and our struggles are important. And yeah,
Mm. Yeah,
it's
and
okay to
maybe as you
cry.
yeah, yeah, and maybe as you said, these, in the form of our lives, in the on the things that we see, in the matter that we encounter, um, maybe these are kind of reminders. Having we can talk about this so in so many ways, but having a stomach ache, or I don't know, seeing something in the world out there in your life that you think is off or not good, or whatever kind of judgment we feel about it, these in itself are kind of like the maybe flags of, or reminders of, sh- how do you want to see this, how do you perceive this, and this is an opportunity to let it be, to surrender to it, to um, yeah, also let it be wild. I love how you put that it's all, there's this force that also wants to create and wants to burst and and be on fire, and sometimes be very very still, and then as the elements that we introduced into the circle. I don't think I did that without a reason. um yeah, so yeah, as you said, the things that we encounter in our lives are maybe these nuggets that you talked about, the nuggets of gold that help us, remind us of yeah, what we're capable of doing. Yeah. I feel I hope it's I everyone can follow, because I feel so much energy right now that I don't know where to go, where to put it. I Another example that I want to give of today is that, about the fixing, that you said. Today I had a for me a really weird day of I had some spare time, but I felt really restless and kind of hopped from one task or one thing I was doing to another, and then I was, I don't know, journaling, and then all of a sudden I wanted to pour a cup of tea, and then I made a nice scent in my room. So I was all over the place. And then always there comes this feeling of, oh, I want to be stable, as you said,
Mm,
like this
mm,
serene, nice flow of life. And I, of course, I like that, and it's in my life as well sometimes. But surrendering into the chaos and the, being everywhere, all over the place, also allowed me to surrender to the chaos of nature, or the rapid energies that are sometimes there.
yeah.
Yeah. So just to make it in a practical example of how
Yeah, and I think
this
it's
is like.
interesting because a lot of it is because we attach like niceness or like a value. It's so much more valuable to be in this like really calm, over like encompassing space, like we want that because I don't know. But it's also really fun to be in this like moved by energy kind of place. It's I also like that a lot. Like just that's what's there, like not fighting it. And
Mm,
of course, if there is something that you feel, wow, actually I'm really leaving home now. Of course, if like is that, for me, I find I'm a lot like that. I'm like more chaotic, ball of fire mess that just so playful. And I'm really recognize myself in what you're explaining, because this my energy wants it all and everything is so exciting. And the way that it's really more and more easier for me to let go in this and have a really good time with it is to come to intention. Like, what do I aim with this? Or like, like that gives it like a backbone to it all somehow.
mm,
So
yeah.
that's been, yeah, something that I've been experimenting with actually
Mm,
lately.
yeah. Kind of like the root of nature, to let it all be wild and untamed. Yeah. Okay, so the question I really it's really popping into my head again and again and again is, if we talk about this surrendering and yet letting it all be wild, what kind of things or practices, or I don't know how to put it, but what kind of things do you do for yourself that help you to navigate this wild, energetic way of living?
Well, I think dance is really nice thing for me because I can be unapologetically myself, and really access different ways of expressing myself, or really letting a lot of archetypes move through me. And that's very freeing, and that's very nice for when my energy is very high. uh, then another thing that's been there naturally, growing and growing, is just being with the sunset. It's a very magical moment. Like I got to, yeah, really feel God there, or the bigger thing. Just really humbles me every time, and I feel like I can get different downloads in every day. Even when my energy is off the roof and I can barely sit still, there is something that happens in that moment that just brings me home. And as much as I can, then of course, like you cannot not always offer this to yourself, but yeah, that's one of those magical moments of my day that makes my life so, so rich. Another thing that for me plays a huge role is being aware of my dreams. I feel like that's where I've been always doing a lot of work, inner work, different ways of navigating your mind and the way your creative and mystical mind works. And if you're one of those persons, do take that time to write your journal when you wake up, because it's really nice. You can get some really nice with this. I really do. Um, yeah, and then I do a lot of yoga. Like that's been kind of there for many years. And it's never the same, and it's always something new. And just again, just because it makes me be in a place where I am what I am in that moment on my mat, and I don't do it because I need to look in a specific way, that I need to feel in a specific way. Just by allowing myself to take on a pose, I experience what that pose brings to me. And I really like this getting out of my mind. I love that space.
Mm.
And then creativity, I think like that's such an important thing to keep alive. Like I think it's one of those things that can fuel that inner child. And that inner child has that power, that courage, that's like open-mindedness to, that's where resilience is. I feel so much of our resilience can sit in that place where creativity is outrageous, and there is courage, and there is also some sort of innocence to it that I think we really need in this time on earth, because that innocence is also part of the medicine of how we're treating the bigger life around us. So yeah, that are some of the things that I practice.
Mm. I love how we kind of have the same things. Yeah.
And
And
I
it's
imagine a lot of the amazing women listening in to us feel home with all of that. It's kind of so embedded in us. Like,
yeah. Yeah, yeah, I love yeah. It's like these things that we all know and that we all remember on a different level than knowing from your head
mm,
remembering, but our bodies know this. How
mm,
important our creativity is no matter what kind of form you put it into, if it's painting or making things out of clay or um I don't know, my boyfriend, just to put in a little bit of masculine energy, he likes to build stuff, and that's not only castles of sand, but it's also like his company. It's also like building relationships. It's can our creativity is so much bigger than a brush and and some paint that I also love. I have to admit, I do, but it's so much bigger than that. Yeah.
yeah, one of the most amazing people in my life that now is resting there in the big unknown. My yoga teacher, that kind of, if I look back, even before coming to Denmark and before, doing all of this healing or alternative ways of seeing, he was just the first to really open the gates to yoga and this world. He was saying something that stayed with me. Imagination is the language of the infinite, and I feel it's so true. And you know, like imagination is infinite, and we all find ourselves in that, whatever that is, as you say, sculpting, building. And really love that you put in constructing relationships into that equation. I think that's really nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I think because
There's
that's
such a flip
also
that yeah.
yeah, it's also something that's close to me, building relationships. I'm always with people. I'm always talking to people. I'm always connecting to people. But for a long time I thought I'm not doing anything in life. I'm just building relationships. But then I remembered, but that is such a big part of what we need in this world to come back to connecting, come back to these communities, to this web that we've been talking about all throughout all conversations, this web
Mhm.
that's holding us, that's way
Mhm.
bigger than we think, way bigger
Mhm.
than we can imagine, or maybe we can imagine it because it's infinite. Hmm. Okay, so time flies by.
When
um,
you're having fun, yes.
we are having fun. Yeah.
Yes.
um so yeah, we are talking about resilience, and I think for everyone, it's um everyone who's listening can feel that the topics we talk about link to resilience in a way that it all helps us to come back to what is my answer to whatever's showing up in my life? How do I
Yes,
respond? How do I come back to the unity of the good and the bad, the light and the dark, the feminine and the masculine, and where it all combines into this whole yumminess of life? Yeah. But before we go to your practice that you want to share with us, is there anything that we didn't touch on that you feel is important to say or that
yes,
is linked to
yes, yes, yes.
resilience?
Indeed, there is. Um, I want to encourage everyone to give time to rest. Like, you cannot just access resilience if you're not rested because it's just not possible. Find that time to make breaks in your day. And maybe now we've actually learned a bit more from this whole corona uh, craziness, but bringing also some nuggets of gold. And I think a lot of people learned to rest and take breaks, which is great. And yeah, I think I would encourage everyone to do that. And I would like to give a tip: before you do something or finish something, take a small break, like just to mark that, okay, now I made food. I just take a moment before I'm gonna eat it. Or like I just ate it and then I'm just gonna take a moment to contemplate that. Just cultivating these moments of nothingness when you can in your life. Because that will charge your batteries up. And then you can actually flow more of this life through you. It's harder to access it when you're in a flight or flight response. Yeah, that's it. That was the missing thing that I
Mm.
really love to be heard. This will benefit tremendously everyone, including myself. It's still learning that.
Hmm. Cultivate. I forgot how you said it. Cultivating moments of nothingness.
Yeah.
I could really benefit from that. Yeah, yeah. Because I'm someone, and I think people might relate to that, who takes time. I do these conversations. I do yoga every week. I do all kinds of things that are charging me, but this is something we can always do any moment of the day. Like you said, just after preparing your meal, before you start eating. These are the small rituals that can help us recharge, as you said, instead of doing a lot of work and then doing a lot of resting, and then, which is also fine, but I think these are the golden tips that help us, yeah, do it in a different way and to come to our resilience, if you want to put it like that. Okay, are you ready to share your magic with us?
Yes, I am. So I just want to invite you to feel your connection to whatever you're sitting or laying on. Take a deep breath and see if you can be a bit more heavy in that body of yours. And just take a moment to feel your whole body. Just do a scan from your toes, your feet, ankles, lower legs, your knees, thighs, your wombs, the whole pelvic region. And feeling your bellies and see if you can take a deep breath all the way there into your lower belly and relax. And feeling your whole torso, your diaphragm, your beautiful breathing muscle. And take a deep breath in and hold the air out. And coming up towards the chest, feeling the back of your heart, front of your heart, the top of your lungs, collarbones, and breathe in this region. Exhale, you can sigh it out. And feeling your shoulders melting, letting those arms hang, with the upper arms relaxing all the way down to your elbows and forearms, your wrists, hands and fingers. And then feel your throat being soft, softening inward. Your neck is relaxed effortlessly. Your whole spine is supporting your head. And just allow your forehead to smoothen out, eyebrows to relax. The eyes are relaxing even more inside of their sockets. Your cheeks are soft and your lips even softer. And the tongue relaxes inside of your mouth. And the last, just feeling your ears. And with your awareness going inward through the ears, and just allowing all sounds to permeate, kind of like moving through you as if your body was transparent. And in this space, feel your whole body as one. Your whole body as one. And then I invite you to exhale on the air out. Then gently, by itself, let the inhale come and hold. Exhale out, hold the air even more than you think you can, and stay here. Inhale and rest. Exhale, be still. Inhale, hold the breath, rest. Exhale all the air out and effortlessly, fully rest into stillness. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, rest in the stillness in between the breaths. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, in the space in between breaths. Exhale, rest. And you can let go of that and just let your breath move by itself. And just being curious of the state of mind you're in right now. And as you're resting in that state, I would like to share with you a good night poem. Let's hear his night. And it's called Jaguar Mother. Jaguar Mother, laying still in the dark of night, her belly caressing the back of the cosmic river as she gives birth to stars. Newborn worlds reflect onto her whiskers as they are softly trembling in the passage of the winds of time. They too know the void and feasted on its flesh, and in their untamed dance and rapture they plant the seeds of remembrance in every spark of life. So just lay down, beloved, as you fall into eternity, and come to know the cosmic river in your spine. So you can open your eyes if you want to. Thank you for being here
I want to stay here with you.
with me. Me too.
That was yummy.
Yeah, this is also this breathing uh, that you rest in the space in between, that you consciously make them a bit longer. That's a way to cultivate rest and to cultivate this. It's actually called the immortal breathing because it really slows down time, or actually, you access the duality we live in. Also, a really precious tip if somebody feels like, oh, this is something that feels nice, please take it home.
I love how this just a simple breathing exercise holds so much wisdom and potency of, I don't know how to put it, but um, as you said, it's almost like combining the in and the exhale, but putting these moments of nothingness in between them to almost remember the bigger whole. I think I lost you. Maybe we lost me. Please stay. So I'll put it back on. I think we were coming to a close, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I was saying something like it all starts to come together and then it's magic. I don't know. And then another way
Yes.
it's just magic. Yeah.
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 Oh.
Thank you so much, Livia, for sharing this with us.
Such a joy. Thank you, Marcella, for sharing also and having these moments of connection.
Yeah. Yeah. I really feel like we are, building this. Maybe it's the backbone that you talked about, making this backbone for ourselves that we can fall back on, doing it consciously, knowing what you need to be resilient and to come back to your energy, to your full potential. So thank you for adding to that. Yeah. And for everyone curious about what Livia does in her life, you can find her. Her website is a little bit under construction, but you can already start looking at it and find all her contact information if you have any questions. So yeah, I hope you will reach out to her because she's an amazing woman.
You're so welcome.
And yeah, we'll see each other.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.